Jason, so we have a number of new images from you. I appreciate the work on that. That really builds out this portfolio, especially since after this you'll be able to use older images. And if you want to go through those older images together, I'm happy to look at those and help you sort those into your portfolio. But images 5 through 10 are all new images, so that's really going to help build this out. But we need to be careful of the repetition of a subject. So showing an image like this with this image where she's wearing the same outfit might be a little repetitive. And then since her hair is so distinct in these images, seeing that again and again and again isn't showing that you've been out there shooting a ton, right? It looks like you have the same model. So when you get down to the editing process and you pull in all of your other images, I wouldn't have more than 2 images of her, and I would probably have those side by side, right? So it looks intentional that you're doing this. I think if we just see the same person more times than not, that we're just going to assume that you didn't have enough time to build out your portfolio. But from the sounds of it, you have a lot of images, so I'm not too concerned about this by the time we get to the final. I think this is the strongest of the new images that you have. As she's kind of blocking the camera, so she's creating this frame within a frame for us to move back and find her face, and she has nice light on her. She has great focus on her face, and we know right where to move to. So I find this image one of the strongest that you have. I also am very drawn to this image, but it feels like a really awkward crop on the bottom of her feet, where you're like right at that ankle joint. That feels really abrupt for your crop. The repetition here, here, and here is something for you to work in your portfolio if you want, but to make a decision on. If you're going to have these images, and I don't think you can have your images that you showed at the beginning of the class, where you have the 2 images, the double exposure sort of look. Those have a very natural look to them, and these have more of this geometric look to them. I'm more drawn to the double exposures that you had in the first module as example images. I think there's a softness to those that work with your images. I think that these feel a little bit more gimmicky with the repetition over and over and over again. But it's coming together. Using the white background for a lot of these, if not all of your images in the end, I think will make it feel cohesive, even though you have different styles that you're working with, different subjects, and all of that. Something that I had mentioned earlier, and I'm going to mention again, is the background. That before you go to print these, we want the background to look the same in all of these, right? If you're just looking at the corner, there's going to be a change, a pretty dark shift here between these 2 images. And as we're flipping from page to page, that's going to be really apparent, and it's darker here, and then it gets lighter, right? So we just need to figure out where you're going to set that at, so we don't have dark images and then lighter images, right? It just doesn't flow as you're working through the portfolio. All right, and then this is the order that we're looking at. So here, those 2 could go together, but again, well, this could be your first page, and then these 2 go together, and that would work fine. Like showing the images that have the same model and the same outfit on the same page show variety of a shoot, where if these are on 2 different pages, it seems like repetitive. So again, like I said, you're going to want to edit down that series. This image, as I remember, the eyes are out of focus and the nose starts to come into focus. So this would be an image that if you have another one that's in focus, I would just swap this out as. But you can see that this is supposed to be a white background, but it's showing very gray. And that's even more apparent when it's up against the white of the paper here, especially compared to here. But keeping these on the same page, facing each other, makes sense. These 2, same person, same page, that starts to work well for your portfolio. So that might be a theme that you work through. But don't feel like each time we open your portfolio, we need to have 2 images. You can really mix up your format there. And then you're missing an artist statement here, and that's 10% of your grade. So you're not going to get that. And I think it's important for you to start working on that artist statement so we can really get it all the way worked out by the time you have to present it in your portfolio.